What's up everyone, this is Adam with Rancid and Sweaty Calves coming at you with yet another video. Today we'll be talking about the absolutely ridiculous looking Batsuit from the new Leslie Grace Batgirl movie that's coming out pretty soon. As you can see here, the title states Batgirl's Leslie Grace debuts extremely comic accurate costume. Now the problem with something like that is it may be comic accurate, it may be ripped off the page of a comic book, but it's also crappy beyond belief. And I'm pretty sure absolutely no one genuinely liked that version of the Batgirl costume because of how bad it looked. And yet, oh yeah, let's make that the Batgirl costume that we're going to use in the movie, because that makes complete and total sense. Let's take a story that no one likes and apply it to a film franchise that is failing. We want to bleed money, thank you very much. Batgirl star Leslie Grace, who plays main protagonist Barbara Gordon, Batgirl herself, has revealed the first full look at the comic book accurate costume. Now, we're going to scroll down really quick because I don't want to have to read through this entire cruddy article by CBR. And we're going to take a look at this god-awful Batgirl costume. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like someone took a leather jacket, spray painted it purple, and then slapped a bat symbol on it and called it a day. You telling me that a movie made this? A movie production company made this? They have all the budget in the world, and this is what they came up with? This is the design they decided to choose. It looks worse than the costumes on Smallville. In case you haven't seen Smallville, it was a TV show from the series from the years 2001 to 2011, where Clark Kent never wore the Superman costume. And the only times we did get people with superhero costumes, they were leather jackets and hoodies. And yet somehow, those costumes work better than this one. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. You want an example of what good cosplay is. We just came from Leslie Grace. This one, this baggy, borderline poor attempt at cosplay, looks like it took someone $150 to make at the most, because all he had to do was buy a freaking leather jacket and leather pants. And then you have this one, where it looks like someone actually put in some effort and some time into creating the character's look from the comics. This is a person who probably has a lower budget than the movie company. Not probably. Definitely has a lower budget than the movie company. And yet they're able to come up with stuff that looks so much better and so much more comic accurate than that stupid, god-awful Leslie Grace one. Here's another one. Same cosplayer, amazing batsuit. It's got the red hair, the rubbery cowl, the form-fitting batsuit, the bright, vibrant yellow, it's got a billowing cape. It looks like it's ripped straight out of the pages of a comic book, and not a crappy comic book. A good comic book. It's not like the Batgirl of Burnside, where she was basically just wearing a leather jacket so that it would make it easier for cosplayers to make suits out of it. No, this looks like it actually took effort to make. Yeah, it looks like someone actually took time to sit down, design a plan on how to make this, and then made it look as good as they possibly could. In comparison, again, to this one. Who goes and says, yeah, we want this over something like that? This looks so much better. It looks so much more like it should than in the comics. It looks so much more like it should on screen. This looks like it's going to perform better during a full live-action movie than something like the Leslie Grace version. Like, who looks at this costume and says, oh no, that's not good enough. We need to go with this one. It's mind-boggling. It really is. And if we go back to here, the the producer of the main movie had some very choice words to say about the the fans not liking the fact that the Batgirl costume looks like garbage. So if we come over here to Game Rant, I hope this article has it. As the recent reveal of Leslie Grace's suit shows, it is in fact It's a fact of life that if something exists, there will be a group of nerds somewhere who dislike it in the world of comic book movies. Okay, so this is a pretty biased organization. I wonder if they work for CBR too. It's got the same format as CBR. So this is not one that I've seen before, but here we go. This is the movie producer, Adi Leblarbi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And it says, it looks like a cosplay. And then it's got, shut the F up and wait for the film. So basically the movie producer, the director of this film is basically trying to say, I'm going to slap all the fans who say this and tell them to just wait for the movie. Because I know better than the fans. And then you've got this where a fan actually retweets and it's shut the F up and wait for the film, and then shut the F up and don't disrespect the fans. And this one right here is a little bit more accurate. It really is. I wouldn't necessarily slap someone over a comic book because that's a little childish. But when a movie runner, when the movie producer, when the director comes out and basically berates fans for being invested in the product in which that they are trying to create something from, and they tell them, hey, here's a little constructive criticism, and instead of going for something like this, why don't you go for something that looks a little bit more like this? The showrunner then gets upset. The movie producer, the Hollywood director, then gets upset and just tells all the fans that they're bigots and sexist and racist and some other bullcrap, and tells them that they're just impatient little mouth-breathing nerds who have a problem with people actually taking advantage of something or some other bullcrap excuse. Now, I shouldn't be this angry about some costume from a movie that hasn't even come out yet. It's more the way that the director is treating fans and basically telling them that they're idiots and saying, hey, look, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm the director. I get to make all the shots. I get to call all the decisions. Yeah, I get to do whatever the heck I want. And if it means driving this film into the ground because I'm not going to heed some constructive criticism from the fans of this character who have been around for decades, and instead I'm going to go with some costume and actress that looks nothing like the character that's from the comics, pull a costume out of the comics that nobody liked, make it the costume of this movie, and then try to make a film based off of that, instead of going with something where an actress looks somewhat like the character, like this cosplayer does, and has a very form-fitting, good-looking cosplay costume that looks far better than the massive movie budget version that we get in the debut costume reveal. They say, oh, no, the fans are wrong and the fans are bigoted because they don't understand anything about filmmaking and they just are racist and they're letting their racism show. Now, it's, whew, yeah, you know it's ridiculous when they try to curve the bridled rage of the fans, right? The criticism of the fans by saying it's comic accurate. It's like if you really cared about comic accuracy, you would go with someone who looks more like this cosplayer. You would go with someone who makes a suit that looks as good as this one, that actually looks like it has some time and effort put into it. I mean, heck, we even have this costume from like the 1990s. It looks better than the one that we got from the Leslie Grace costume reveal. And this costume looks nothing like anything that we've seen in the comics. It's a pretty bad costume, if you ask me. I don't think Batgirl should have a Nightwing mask. You know, it doesn't make much sense. But this cosplayer right here makes a cosplay of Batgirl that is far more comic accurate and looks far more deserving of screen time than something that a massive $1 million movie production, can make on its own. It's so sad. It really is. And if you come over to here, you can take a look at some other Batgirl cosplays, like this one. It's ripped straight out of the 1960s TV show. which is a more comic accurate version of the character because this was probably one of the first designs for the character. This looks better than the Leslie Grace Batsuit. I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say? I've ranted long enough about this stupid costume situation. I hope, and I really, really do mean this, I really hope that the movie runners of the Batgirl film realize that they have screwed up and just try to fix their mistake, because otherwise they're going to be dead in the water with no fans wanting to go watch their garbage. Alright. Well, I've ranted enough for today. This has been Adam with Rancid and Sweaty Calves. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below with any thoughts you have in regards to the situation. Any ideas that you might want me to cover next. And if you agree with this video, or hey, even if you don't agree with this video, go ahead and share to all your friends and family so that I can get more popular. Alright, have a great day and a great rest of the week.